All right, so in this video, I am live building an AI agent that provides hyper-personalized content directly from your sales call objections and packages it up for marketing so that we can handle these pre-call in the future. This was a request from a client of ours, and this is the actual live build of me going in and building it start to finish, has everything you need to be able to build this agent yourself. So let's go ahead and dive in.
All right, so I am building something that a customer just requested, and I just kind of hopped in here to build it as soon as possible and as quickly as possible. And I figured I would take you guys along for the journey. So we're just going to go step by step. Now, I've never built this specific tool before, so we are going to have fun with it. We're going to build it out. We're going to knock it out as quickly as possible. What we're doing is grabbing the Fathom transcript directly from the team account. Now you can see here that we're configured for team meetings, and then we got two simple filters here. One is making sure that the user is on the sales team, and then we're filtering out the manager so those calls don't make it into here. Now, the next thing we are going to do is set up the configuration for the webhook. So we went into N8N, we grabbed this test URL right here, we pasted that into the URL section, and then we're going to use payload type form. Transcript is going to go into the transcript. Create date is going to be the create date from the actual transcript. So we're just going to do meeting start time. And then the only other thing I think I want to add in here, and this is just a test, but we're going to do client name so that we can help the AI agent do its job. And I'll explain. The goal of this is to basically create an entire marketing motion where we're analyzing the calls and feeding this back to marketing, and then helping create repurposing content or content that the sales team can share with the client and the marketing can use to handle objections ahead of time and get people bought in before the actual sales call. So if we come into here, we should be able to find the client name right here. So meeting invitee name is going to be that. So perfect. I don't really want to do anything else here. So we are just going to come back to this. We are going to listen for the event. We're going to unpin the data, listen for the event. And then we are going to, if I can find this, come back here and test the step. And it should fire off a new transcript. There we go. Boom. So the test data has made it in here. We can see the transcript is right here. And then let's just go check. Obviously, this is a very long transcript, but that is completely okay. It is AI. And then I want to see if the other fields made it into here. So, yep, client name right here, created date, and then the transcript. Super, super easy. So we're already halfway there, honestly. So that is good to go. Now, the next thing we need to do is create the prompt for the actual AI agent. So what I'm going to do is open up ChatGPT here, and I'm actually going to open up this AI agent prompt architect by Nate Herc. Shout out Nate Herc. This thing's actually really, really useful. So, but you don't have to use this. You can do this by simply just writing a content prompt and making sure that it is in markdown format. This basically just organizes and puts it in markdown format. So we are going to say, hello, I need to write a system prompt / message for a N8N AI agent using, I like to put the actual model in here. So using GPT 4.0, the goal of this is to take the call transcript from sales calls and to feed it into the agent. The agent then will analyze the call transcript from a marketing standpoint. So this one is not like a call analysis for the sales rep, but more so the marketing standpoint. So from the marketing standpoint, we want to be able to do the following. So one is going to be provide full marketing analysis on the call. 2 is create content that we can use from objections on these calls to pre-sell potential clients on the solution and avoid objections on the sales call. 3, we need to be able to bucket these clearly so that we can analyze the data and review it. You should not look at this from a sales coaching standpoint, but instead the marketing angle of what could we have done prior to the sales call. What could we have done prior to the sales call to prevent objections? Things like brand awareness, things like the level of brand awareness, level of buy-in, level of trust of the brand, etc. should all be considered. We should rank the quality of marketing, or we should score each call based on the level of marketing that was done prior to the sales call. If they were not supposed to be on that call, then you should tell us. You are an experienced marketer with many years working as a CMO, turning around marketing on high ticket marketing offers. You work with content-based influencers. Note, please take this and make it better. Let's read between the lines, identify what will make this the most successful prompt possible, and create the system prompt. So probably something like that. Again, I usually go through a few iterations, so we're just gonna go with that. And you can see it's gonna start doing its thing, so we'll give it a second. All right, so let's go ahead and review this. You're acting as an AI agent, as a seasoned CMO with a background in high-ticket marketing offers and deep experience in contract-driven lead generation. Analyze a sales call from a marketing lens, identify how marketing efforts or lack thereof contributed to objections, resistance, or missed opportunities. Your goal is to help the marketing team craft better pre-sale content and strategies to reduce friction during a sales call. Amazing. This is not about sales coaching or performance feedback. It's to understand the marketing gaps. Your background transcripts will come from sales calls, instructions, all in there. Tools, transcript of sales call, internal scoring rubric, marketing buckets. Perfect. That's good for now. Again, this is just first iteration. Examples, SOP, and then final notes. So this looks great to me. So we're just going to copy this for now. We're going to open up the AI agent, and then we are going to replace the previous prompt I had in here, because this is agent I have for some other purposes that are similar, but we're kind of changing this. So we're going to reuse the tools agent. The text is going to be the transcript. Where do you get the transcript? You just drag and drop it directly from here. You can already see it's green and good to go. And then we have this in here. So that is all good to go. Let's just test the step and see what it outputs. And we will continue to build this. So it will take a moment to execute depending on what model you're actually using. But let's see. And it is already connected to the model. I'll show you how to connect that in a second. But again, we're kind of repurposing another agent we already built. So it should be on ChatGPT 4.0. That is typically going to be the best at this moment in time. And again, it's a very long transcript. So it will take a little while to go through, but there we go. So key marketing insights, objection, budget constraints, root cause, lack of clear value proposition, ROI, articulation, and pre-sale materials. Suggested content, create case studies demonstrating financial ROI and use ROI calculator in pre-sale content. Objection number 2 was time commitment, root cause, unclear communication about the flexibility and structure of the program. Suggested content, share testimonials showing how busy participants have successfully integrated the program onto their schedules. Objection, initial hesitation to start. Root cause, unclear roadmap of applications and pre-sale engagements. And then suggesting content, develop webinars or guides to help prospects visualize initial steps in transition into the program. Marketing score, 6 out of 10, that's pretty good. Prospect had brand awareness, but more clarity on benefits and practical integration could have been preempted, could have preempted concerns. Qualifications and nurturing, qualified status, semi-qualified, understood the brand yet required more logistic persuasion pre-call. Nurturing actions, enhance nurturing with testimonial and examples that directly address time and financial considerations. Strategic recommendations, trust and authority, amplify customer success narratives. So yeah, very, very good. And then you can kind of see here, it did a bunch of other stuff that is already in here, and I'll show you kind of how to build this. But that is exactly what we want. So let's come over to the AI model. So we are using GPT 4.0 as I mentioned. So you would just connect your OpenAI account. If you have not connected your OpenAI account, you need to basically go into the playground version of, not playground, right here, playground.openai.com, and then it'll kind of redirect. But you need to sign up for a developer account. And once you have a developer account, you just click on the settings icon in the top right-hand corner, click on API keys, and then grab a new API key and connect that directly into your ChatGPT account, okay? Now, the second thing I am going to do here is come into this structured output parser. Now, this will not exist normally on here. To turn it on, you go to require specific output format and toggle that on. And then you'll see the structured output parser pop up. And this part, if you're not a programmer, is gonna look crazy, okay? But all we're gonna do is copy this, and I'll provide this code to you guys. If you leave a comment, I can send it over to you. It's also in our school community. So if you're interested in a school community on AI, sales operations, etc., you can send me a message about that. But we're just going to come over here and we're going to say, okay, great. Based on this prompt, please now take this output parser code and edit it to match this prompt and any of the buckets we need to properly display this data in other platforms. So I'm going to paste that in there, and then it's going to update the JSON schema. So here we go. And you can see that now we have these different things. So score, recommended content, marketing buckets, marketing analysis, boom, 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 pre-call objections, content buckets, case studies needed, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so it's gonna rewrite this, and it's got all this. So again, we're just testing this for now. So I'm just gonna copy this, and then we're gonna replace all of this. We're going to throw in the new output parser content. Click there, click save, And then we're going to open up our AI agent again. We're going to run this step one more time, and you should see how it actually parses out all of this data into a much cleaner format instead of that like HTML or text format. So we'll give this just a moment to execute. Again, if you guys find this stuff interesting or you want to learn more about it, we do have a school community called the AI Operator. You can just leave a comment. We'll get you in there. If you're a business that is looking for support in operations, sales operations, CRM integration, et cetera, please just, again, leave a comment, schedule a call, talk with me or someone on my team. We'll point you in the right direction. But cool. So now we can see score is listed under a score, recommended content. We have case studies, guided balancing with programs, and simplified video, marketing buckets, awareness, trust and authority, offer clarity, pre-qualification, and content gaps. Should have been on call, true. Marketing analysis, primary objection, budget, reason for interest, desire to structure time, blah, 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 brand awareness, reactivation, etc. So it's got all this bucketed now. Now, are these the things we want? I don't know. We can change this in a minute, but let's just get the thing built, and then we can always go update this. Now, again, we were basically pulling this from another agent, so I'm going to simplify this a ton. We are just going to go ahead and delete this whole section up here because we're not doing a call grading flow. And we're not doing this buyer intent and deal risk. There's another video on our AI tool that basically looks from the sales perspective and the marketing perspective, but we don't need that right now. We are just building this piece. So I'm going to come up here. We're going to move this little thing here. And then we need to connect a new Google Sheet. So what we're going to do is open this up, and we are going to create a brand new Google Sheet to send this data over to. Now, when I do this, we're going to do marketing analysis and content tool. Boom. So now that we have that, I need to basically, well, there's two ways. Again, we can use AI to simplify most of this. Okay, that is great. Can you please now provide me the headers for each of these that I can put into Google Sheets so I can send the data from the agent to Google Sheets. Now, if you can read some bit of code, you could just come through here and copy the stuff that's in here. But here are all of the buckets. So we can just start pasting this over there. So, and I might have to do this one by one, so I might just pause the video for you guys until this is done. I don't think it's going to allow me to copy all of these. Let's test it. I don't think it is. Oh, those went into different buckets. Amazing. So now I should, in theory, let's see if I know how to use Google Sheets. I should be able to transpose this. Paste, transposed. That didn't work. Here. Paste special, transposed. Huh. I don't know why that's not working. Okay, well, all good. So we'll come back here. I'm going to pause the video for the sake of this, and then we will be right back. All right, fantastic. And we are back. So I just pasted those up here. Wasn't the prettiest thing, but it works. Okay, so now we have all of our header columns. I'm just going to freeze this column here, this row here. And then we're going to come back to this. And what we're going to do is open up this Google Sheet, and we want to make sure that we are appending the row. So connect your Google Sheet account if you don't have one connected. And then we're going to append the row. Now we got to make sure that we are pulling in the correct sheet and then the correct tab inside of that sheet. So there we go. It's going to fetch these columns, and then all we have to do is start dragging these over. Okay, so score goes into score, recommended content 0. Oh, feedback first. So feedback is going to go in here. I'm actually going to skip the feedback. Let's put it in here. Why not? It's just so big and blocky that I don't love putting it in there, but it'll be fine. So recommended content 1, recommended content 2, recommended content 3. And then let's delete recommended content 4 and 5. I don't need all that. So marketing buckets, awareness, trust and authority, offer clarity. We're going to put that in there. Pre-qualification, content gaps, boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're getting a ton of data out of this already. So should have been on call, true or false. Primary objection, marketing analysis was budget. Reason for interest, boom. Brand awareness, marketing journey stage, lead source. Now this one's kind of cool because this is like pulled from the actual conversation, so it can be wrong sometimes, but you can fix that. Really, it's just like, where does it assume it came from? And then pre-call objections addressed, no, in its opinion. We can always adjust the prompt to be exactly how we want. So case studies needed, true. Explainers needed, true. Trust building needed, yes. I don't love how this is bucketing this, but at least these ones, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter. This is just iteration 1. Risk factors, 1, boom. Win-loss notes, we'll put this over here like that, and boom. So that is pretty much all we need. Now we need to clean a little bit of this up, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna test this step, and then it should fire right off to our Google Sheet, and we're basically done with this build in less than 21 minutes, and I've never built this before. So if we come over here, awesome. So now we can see our feedback is right here, boom, block, the score, the case studies. So we'll expand this out. And then actually I want to wrap all of this text. So we'll come over here like this, and then we're going to go to data. We're going to wrap it. And there's a lot of places you could send this. You could send it other places. I'm just sending it to a Google Sheet because it's the easiest thing to do right off the bat. But ultimately I'm going to make this as big as possible. And then we will start to, I don't know why. Oh, because this one's so big. So what you may want to do here is send the feedback to a completely separate tab, which let's actually do that. So I'm going to delete everything in here just to clean this up. So this will make it look a lot better. So we're going to take feedback. We're going to delete this row completely. And then we're going to have data, and then we're going to have a feedback tab. So boom, we got those two. And then let's do date created and customer, right? And now we can match off of that. Customer. And then let's add this also over here. So we're going to date created customer and then feedback. So we have this, we're gonna lock this in here. And guys, this is an iterative process, right? Like you don't know what you want until you start doing it a lot of times. And you gotta start sparking that creativity. So you can always build on it, just get the base and then start adding whatever you want. But let's come back to N8N now. And the only thing, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna refresh these columns. You should see feedback disappear. We're gonna have date created. So date created should come directly from the webhook because we sent that over. So created date, boom, there you go, super easy. And then client name, boom, super easy, okay? So that is already better, and the feedback tab is gone. So we are just gonna test this new step. It should look a lot cleaner inside of here. We'll see it pop up, there we go, perfect. And then we're going to come to our feedback tab, and we're just going to add one extra step. So all we need to do is delete this HTTP request, and we're going to go to Google Sheets, and we're just going to append another row. So append a row in a sheet, connect your Google account, boom, and then append row, choose from. We're going to select our tool, and then we're going to select our correct sheet, so our feedback sheet, right? And then we're just going to add in these items here. So these ones were all the way down here. Customer, create date, and then the feedback, not that one down there, but the actual feedback up here. And let's do it in the plain text format. It's a little bit cleaner. Oh, and you know what? I totally messed this up. Actually, let's go fix this real quick. I was pulling from the AI agent. So that's something to note, guys. You can see here, the output parser was above. I, for some reason, was pulling the AI agent data, which we don't want to do. So yeah, that's way better. Oh, sorry, no, that's the Google Sheet. Okay, this is how it's coming through from the output parser. So we're good there. So we'll just test this real quick, and then you will see this come over here. And now this allows us just to widen this, and it's way easier to view these like this since we, and I can actually close this and expand this out a little further. So now you can read through these and it's separated from the actual data, but you will still get the data. Okay, so what are next steps? Well, the next step is to review the actual data that it is outputting, okay, and make sure that the information that's coming over correctly. Also, to update the prompt. Do we want to bucket that stuff more? Do we want it to have more of a text response? Do we want it to add, different things? Hey, write me an Instagram reel that I can actually use on a call, and we can send that over. So we have unlimited optionality here, but get the thing built and then start adding to it. Also, keep in mind, when you use any type of trigger like this with a webhook, instead of wasting a bunch of zaps and webhooks on things you don't need, make sure you throw your filter conditions in here to prevent that from happening. But there you have it. I mean, start to finish, 25 minutes. I had no idea what I was doing going into this, but we're pretty close. Make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe if you want any of the, the output parser code or the actual AI agent prompt that I put in there. Go ahead and just leave a comment. We'll make sure that my team gets you that information. Other than that, have fun building some of your own agents and let me know how it goes. Cheers.